Oh, fuck.
Hey, Bo. Hey, girl. Hey.
Your ass is grass!
Pussy fire.
Protect.
Existing is $300.
Hello, fire.
My wig. Nope.
Hurricane Katrina!
No ma'am. No ma'am.
Okay. You're just better. GG.
Protect. Protect. Protect.
Follow me.
Okay.
Ow!
Why am I poisoned?
Electric chair. Oh, now we gotta go.
You're high as fuck. Oh my god, I'm not even.
Good night, Weedle.
No ma'am.
Intimidate.
Follow me.
Me too.
Here comes the money.
Hopefully you all enjoyed those battles featuring this Flare Boost Drifblim squad. I wanted to take a minute to go over this team for those who might still be confused on how this team works or just curious on my thought process behind the EV spreads, movesets, and such. So I wanted to build around Flare Boost Drifblim just because Drifblim is never really used in VGC, and when you do see it used in VGC, it usually runs on Burden with a Psychic Seed next to like Indeedee, for example, so you can actually bluff that if the opponent denies open team sheets, which is, you know, pretty funny. But Flare Boost is Drifblim's signature ability. Only it gets access to Flare Boost unless you use it with Skill Swap, and what it does is it gives your Pokemon increased special attack and damage while you're burned, because you know you are the hot air balloon Pokemon, and even though it is like a 50% increase in special attack, it's the same boost that Choice Specs gives you. Unfortunately, Drifblim's special attack is still pretty mediocre. You could boost it further with Calm Mind, but in a VGC metagame where the meta is super aggressive, Drifblim doesn't really have the wiggle room to do that. I was trying to be realistic when using Flare Boost Drifblim. We have Protect to stall the turn to get the Flame Orb, similar to Ursaluna. Of course, Ursaluna on the team doesn't have the Flame Orb. We also have Trick Room because Drifblim gained access to Trick Room in this generation. I did not have access to Trick Room in prior gens, which is kind of funny. Shadow Ball is the only real stab option we need. Air Slash is okay, but Shadow Ball gives me nice synergy with Hatterene's Magic Powder and Indeedee's Helping Hand. It can really push Drifblim's damage to the point where it can one-shot a lot of Pokemon. And then last but not least, we have the Fling with the Flame Orb. And as you saw throughout the video, we do have a weakness policy Ursaluna with the Guts ability, and of course the combo is you go for the Fling into Ursaluna, activating your weakness policy and Guts as soon as Ursaluna hits the field, and then you can go for a +2 Guts boosted Earthquake that Drifblim is immune to thanks to the flying typing, and then just obliterate the field. Facade is also another move that Ursaluna loves to run. It's Stab, and then Terra Blast Psychic is kind of weird. You could go Terra Blast Ghost, especially with Hatterene synergy on this team, but I just went with Terra Blast Psychic just because Ursaluna is a wise old man. He has a third eye. He has to open his third eye, you know? He's not a ghost type. He's still getting usage. And with Indeedee's, you know, Psychic Terrain, you get increased damage against Iron Hands and stuff like that. And the last move slot here is Sword Stance. Sword Stance is really good next to Indeedee if you want to go for Follow Me Sword Stance, you know, Trick Room Sword Stance, and then spam Follow Me until Indeedee dies, bring in your Drifblim, and then go for the Fling to get your Guts. Because Ursaluna is such a strong Pokemon, it doesn't really need Guts immediately. Like, it still does decent damage even without the Guts activated. Like, don't sleep on Ursaluna. One other thing I really wanted to mention with this EV spreads without taking up too much time is that I have 52 speed EVs, and the reasoning for that is because I need Ursaluna to outspeed Drifblim. And even with, you know, Drifblim being quiet, 0 speed, it's still naturally faster than an uninvested Adamant, you know, max IV Ursaluna, so I need to give it some speed so I can go for the Trick Room combo. Otherwise, the EVs are there to like min-max Flame Orb damage because the HP is divisible by 16 minus 1, so we take 1 less damage from burn than we otherwise would. And we have like 156 on both Drifblim and Ursaluna to hit that bump, you know. Next Pokemon is Indeedee, and Indeedee is a very good support Pokemon. It might become even better in the DLC once it gets Expanding Force, but for now I'm using it as a super supportive option with Follow Me. Also gets access to Trick Room in this generation due to an oversight in the game, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is, so we're running that. Helping Hand to increase, you know, your allies' damage, and then Psyshock is good into Chiam-Pao's partners that have Sword of Ruin lowering their defense, Assault Vest Pokemon, and it also does more damage to Fluttermane in particular, who is the #1 used Pokemon in the metagame. And then Terra Grass Rocky Helmet is good for opposing Urshifu, for opposing the Mugaspore, and then Hatterene's on this team. Usually Hatterene is used with, you know, Life Orb, Dazzling Gleam, maybe Expanding Force once the DLC drops, but because it doesn't have access to Expanding Force, Dazzling Gleam doesn't do too much, especially compared to Fluttermane. I just decided to go with a supportive Hatterene because Magic Powder is a signature move Hatterene gets access to, changes the opponent to a Psychic type so you can hit him with Shadow Ball from Fluttermane, Wicked Blow from Urshifu. Potentially Terra Blast Ghost from, you know, the Ursaluna, but you know, I went Terra Blast Psychic. And of course Shadow Ball from Drifblim with the Flare Boost. You can hit the opponent super hard if they're weak to it and probably one-shot them unless it's like Assault Vested. And Dazzling Gleam, even uninvested, still does really good damage because, you know, Hatterene's special attack is base 136. Even uninvested, it's still really strong. And then last but certainly least, we have Nuzzle, just to give us some status to spread around some additional speed control. Because I don't really have any other status spreading Pokemon on my team, besides maybe like Fling Drifblim in the few matches where I don't bring Ursaluna. The last few Pokemon on my team are of course the like top used Pokemon right now. We have Urshifu and Fluttermane. Now we're going with Urshifu Single Strike because Urshifu's Single Strike gets access to Wicked Blow, which you can combo with Hatterene's Magic Powder. We have Psychic Seed next to Indeedee to give us another setup option that can really sweep late game with Wicked Blow and Drain Punch and Sword Stance, because for some reason Game Freak gave Urshifu Sword Stance in Generation 9 because they don't know know what balance is. Drain Punch gives you sustain and so you don't reduce your defenses like Close Combat does. And Sucker Punch may seem counterintuitive on a Psychic Terrain team, but Psychic Terrain does not last forever, especially when Rillaboom is used on a lot of teams as well. So yeah, Sucker Punch gives you priority once Trick Room expires, and overall I just seen more success with that from using this team. And last Pokemon, Flutter Mane is mostly support. So basically I wanted to use Imprison to shut down opposing Flutter Mane, but then I realized the value of shutting down opposing Pokemon who learn Imprison Trick Room like Giraffe. So I decided to replace Dazzling Gleam with Trick Room on this Flutter Mane, giving me another way to set up the Trick Room. And then we have Boost Your Energy and Special Attack with this weird AV spread to where like I have more Special Attack than Speed, just barely, so I get the Special Attack bump, but also outspeeding Garchomp naturally. And then the rest is in bulk. Otherwise, like the Flutter Mane's self-explanatory, Terra Blast Fairy just to do a lot of damage, so you could probably go with Defensive Terra and this sort of set to better success. I just added these two just to make this team a little more meta. Okay, that's the team breakdown. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments down below.
Bonus stage.
Follow me. Okay.
Stick your finger in my ass.
One, two, three.
Your ass is grass!
Watch me eat.